Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1972 Winter Baseball Classic. We got a game tonight in Coney Island. It's the Memphis Bells and the Coney Island Cyclones. Ah, yes. Two places to definitely visit, I would say. Memphis Bells, well, now they're called Beals, like Beale Street. B-E-A-L-E-S instead of B-E-L-L-E-S. Put some sheet music over here for them. And of course, here's the big roller coaster in Coney Island, the Coney Island Cyclones. Fun times. Spring training baseball hasn't been very good to Coney Island. This is a best of 5 series that opens in Memphis. And I tell you, Coney Island has the damn pedigree to win the whole damn thing. They got Jim Palmer and Tom Seaver, Fritz Peterson and Pat Dobson in the rotation. My gosh, if this is a major league team, that could go to the World Series. Here we are in a tournament, and they're not doing very well. Tom Seaver, 7 innings. You got a Otis Rojas singles, Willie Stargell 3-run homer. You got a Mike Lum solo shot. You got an Amos Otis solo shot, 5-0. Clyde Wright, 6-hitter. Wow. Game 2. Does it get any better in Memphis, where Booker T and the MGs are playing? No! Palmer lost this one. This was a 2-0 game. Boog Powell solo shot, Munson triples and scores. Memphis comes back with an error, scores a run, makes it 2-1, 3-1 game. 3-1 game, bottom of the 8th. You get Frank Robinson, former Oriole, against former Oriole, I guess, in this happenstance. He beats his old teammate with a solo shot, making it 3-2. Then they hit a ball out to Reggie in right field. Oh boy, it didn't work out very well. 2-base error. A Lum single, Concepcion single, Palmer's gone. Dick Bosman comes in, it doesn't help. 4-3 victory for Memphis, rallying in the bottom of the 8th to take 2 straight at home, securing home field. They cannot be eliminated in Coney Island. The mission for the Coney Island Cyclones is to win games 3 and 4, then a day off, go back to Memphis, and win a game 5. Fun matchup today, folks. For Memphis, it is Sam McDowell. Now, at this time, he's with the Giants, 10-8, 4.34 ERA. And with the Coney Island Cyclones, they always get their New York bloodlines. Fritz Peterson was a Yankee, 17-game winner, 3.24 ERA, and 250 innings in 72. Sam McDowell, Fritz Peterson. Good lefty-lefty matchup today. Game 3. Coney Island needs to win a baseball game to avoid being swept. Let's get started. Get your cotton candy ready. Get your, Warriors, come out and play. Yeah, famous Wonder Wheel, I think, and all that stuff. Okay, here we are. Amos Otis leads off, 5-11. Flies to right X. Reggie's out and right at 2-10. This time he makes the catch. Cookie Rojas pops to second. And Tony Perez, center X. Maddox at 2-3 in center. Makes the catch. You know, just because we talked about Coney Island's pitching staff being great, you know, Memphis is no slouch with the hitters. You know, Otis, Rojas, Tony Perez, Frank Robinson, Joe Torre, Willie Stargell. My goodness, you got some All-Stars Hall of Famers there. Not necessarily having great years, understandably, but that's why they're here. Bottom of the 1st, Elliot Maddox, 56 Ks. Chicken Stanley, 210 hit by the pitch. Reggie, 57 Ks. And Cleon Jones, 66. Triple 105 is a triple, scoring the runner with 2 outs. Thurman Munson, 1-7, is a base hit, scoring Cleon. And with 2 outs, it's Brooks Robinson. Base hit right field. Munson will not get thrown out at third with 2 outs. Keep the rally going. Boog Powell strikes out. By the way, McDowell has your 7 template, which is the 6-5 roll. Peterson has the 6 template, which is the 6-10 roll, indicating 6th and 7th best ERAs on each staff. San Francisco and the Yankees in this case. 2-0 early lead for Coney Island, something they haven't really been blessed with in the 2 games. And here on the top of the 2nd, it's Frank Robinson. 3-2 gone. Frank Robinson, by the way, in 72 and 19 homers for a Dodger. He was traded for Doyle Alexander and some more guys that didn't do a whole lot. trade, and then eventually the Orioles let Doyle Alexander go, and he went all over baseball. Did pretty well in the early mid-'80s with Toronto and San Francisco and I forget who else. Joe Torre, 58, pops to first. Willie Stargell, 47, Ks. And Jimmy Stewart's going to play short today, 45, second. 2-1 game. It's Horace Clarke, 45, short X. And that's hit right so I meant to bring his 48 shortstop, but he makes the play. Substitute as a regular shortstop, he's got the day off. Pat Corrali is 55, Sky's center. Elliot Maddox, 59, second X. Second baseman is Cookie Rojas, 2-11, makes the play. McDowell settles down after a rough first. It's 2-1. Into the third. Mike Lum, 35, center. Jerry McNertney bounces back to the mound. Peterson's at E6, makes the play. And Amos Otis, 1-5, walks. Ace stealer with 2 outs, but you got Munson's -4 on him, thanks. Cookie Rojas, 4-11, bouncer to first. This is Boog Powell's a 3E19 at first, and we tried Boog, but you just kept kicking that one around, kicked it again, and then dropped it. Error first base. You have 2 on, 2 outs, and the dangerous Tony Perez. 56, lines the third. Don't make him pay for the mistake. Chicken Stanley flies to left. Reggie, 67, walks. Cease stealer this year. Cleon Jones, 1-5, hit his card, homer 1-9. It is gone. That's had 5 homers and 375 at-bats and kind of a down year in 72. Rebounds nicely in 73 as the Mets return to the World Series. 1-5 here is a 2-run shot, and suddenly Coney Island Cyclones up 4-1. Munson, Ks. Brooks Robinson, 2-9. Triple 1-4 doubles, a 2-base hit. And Boog Powell, 39 is a walk. Here comes Coney Island, really getting it cranked up. 35 grounds a short. Horace Clarke there. 4-1. Frank Robinson, homered earlier. 38's a walk. Joe Torre, 2-4 center. Willie Stargell, 1-9, homer 1-4 fly ball, and it's a fly ball. Jim Stewart, third X, but this is Brooksy. Brooks Robinson's a 1E12 at third base. Bottom of the fourth, it's Pat Corrali's 110. This guy's a center. Elliot Maddox, 1-9. Double 1-9 is a base hit for the ace stealer. He will take off, however, and he's in there with a stolen base. Fred Stanley, runner at second. Sky's the center. And with 2 outs, it's Reggie trying to pick this runner up, and he cannot. A deep fly ball to center, and it falls into Amos Otis' glove. Top of the 5th. Mike Lum leads off. 68, triple 1-3, base hit. Jerry McNertney, 66, second X. This is got a double play here. Protect that lead, 3-13, and he does get it. Horace Clarke. And Amos Otis. 1-9 double. That doesn't do any damage though. Cookie Rojas. 47. This does. Single dot. So they're roughing up Peterson in the 5th. It's 4-2. Tie run will be Tony Perez. 48. Sky's a center. Well, they make it interesting. It's 4-2. Home team. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. Cleon Jones having a nice day. RBI run scoring triple, 2-run homer. What more can this guy do? Cleon. 59 bounces over to second. Cookie Rojas at 2-11. And he makes an error, inexplicable error, and Cleon's on for the 3rd straight time. D-Stealer. Thurman Munson, 312, Lomax, whoops. Cleon got nipped off the bag at first. Tough double play there. Brooks Robinson, second X, and here's Rojas again. This time he makes up for his mistake. Top of the 6th. Still a close 4-2 game. It's Frank Robinson, 411, first X. Here's Boog, a 319 at first. And he's having all sorts of trouble over at first base today. Another Boog Pal error. He made 19 of them, and there's 2 today. Joe Torre suddenly the tie run. 110, base hit, center field. Frank Robinson, good base runner, holds a second. 2 on, nobody out. Fritz Peterson and McDowell are both starter 7s, and they will both probably continue into the inning. It'll be Willie Stargell, 111. That avoids all the strikeouts and gets into a 1-6-3 double play. We would have preferred the strikeout there, Willie. But it's a double play. You got a runner at third with 2 outs for Jimmy Stewart. 1-5 flies to left. So a lot of mistakes for Memphis today. A team that was pretty crisp winning the first 2. Bottom of the 6th, and here's Boog Pal. A little boog. They're booging here in Coney Island because of the defensive miscues, even though neither mistake cost his team anything. Boog Pal. 63 off McDowell is pitcher X. Sam's an E8. Pretty good defensive pitcher here. Makes the play. Horace Clark, 2-6, short. And with 2 outs, you got Pat Corrales, 56, is a K. We go to the 7th. 4-2, briskly moving here. Mike Lum. Coney Island kind of felt they could have won one of those games, and they could be up ahead in the series with a win today. It just hasn't really worked out. I'm not giving up though. 110 is a roller to short. McNertney, 412, pitcher. Once you get past the All-Stars, the bottom 3 is pretty weak, and then the relief and bullpen's not very good either. Amos Otis, 47, base hit. Ace Steeler down 2 with Munson. He'll stay right there. Cookie Rojas, 5'10", center X. What you got, Mr. Elliot Maddox, a 2 in center field, makes the grab. Fritz Peterson, been the sharpest of Palmer, Seaver, and Fritz Peterson. It's been the lefty who's been the best in this little tournament. Stretch time in Coney Island. This is where you get off the roller coaster, then you run around, run around, and get in line again to go over on it a second time, that kind of thing. We are enjoying Lou Reed, 76, Coney Island baby. Lou's at this game, big baseball fan. She's my best friend, crazy feeling, Coney Island baby. Get your kicks. Great LP by Lou. Right in the middle of that, Transformer, rock and roll animal era for the greatest Lou Reed. Okay, bottom of the 7th. Sam McDowell will continue. Down 2. Top of the lineup for Coney Island, Elliot Maddox. 39 is single 1-2. Cannot get it. Chicken Stanley, 59, second X. And this is Mr. Rojas and Reggie. Single 4, cannot get it. So McDowell's doing pretty well after the Cleon Jones damage. And that's the difference of this game. Into the 8th. Does Coney Island want to increase their defensive chances? Tommy McCraw could play left field. We'll do that. We'll bring in a defensive outfielder for we'll take out, we'll put McGraw, we'll put Cleon at DH, and we'll put McGraw in left field. If I had one more outfielder, I don't. Take Boog Pal at first base. Can't afford that though. All right, 4-2 game, top of the 8th, 6 outs to get to avoid being swept. Won't be easy though. You got Perez, Robinson, Torre, and Stargell. My goodness, how many Jeez. I think all these guys were in the 1971 All-Star game. And so 72, they all had down years. Stargell, yep. Well, Torre and Stargell were top MVP votes. Frank Robinson, 71 Orioles, went to a World Series, and Tony Perez, yeah. So, man, that's a lot of lumber right there. In the top of the 8th, Fritz Peterson's ready for it. Here's the pitch to Tony Perez. 1-8 is a walk, and your tie run is Frank Robinson, who homered this game. He hit a homer off of Jim Palmer in the previous game. 54, third X, but they found Brooks. This should be a double play, a 1E12 third baseman. And it is. That's how you win World Series, with Brooks Robinson defense at third base. And now with 2 outs and no rally, it's Joe Torre. He singles. One more batter to break Fritzy, but they like the lefty-lefty matchup, so he'll pitch to Stargell. 66, short X, and this is Fred Stanley at short. It's a 327 at short, and he makes the play. 8 innings in the books for Fritz Peterson. Sam McDowell, 4-2 game. You got 3 righties coming up. We're going to take him out. He didn't do that bad. He had a rough start. We're going to bring in Jerry Johnson to pitch the 8th. Gets a bunch of righties. Jerry Johnson, he was a Philly, I think. He also spent time with the Giants. Yeah, he's a Giant in 72 with a 4.44 ERA. Comes trotting out of the bullpen to start the bottom of the 8th inning. And it will be Cleon Jones. 1-9 short. Thurman Munson. 2-9 pops to first. And Brooksy. Brooks Robinson, nice defensive play at the top of the inning. Triple 1-8. That's a 3-base hit for Brooks Robinson. Having a nice day in Coney Island. A single, double, and a triple. And Cleon Jones, a triple and a homer. 2 outs, man at third. Boog Powell. Like to pick up this insurance run, Boog, after the errors you made earlier. Here's the pitch to Boog Powell. 43 off of Jerry Johnson. Flies to right X. We got Lum out there, a 2E10. Nice range, but it's a base hit off the 2 right fielder. Tough break for the visitors. This thing looks like it's a lock now. 5-2. Horace Clark lines a second. So, Ken Sanders will be coming on in the 9th inning. He was a Milwaukee Brewer closer. Went to the All-Star game, usually as the Milwaukee representative, in the early 70s. In 72, 69, 70, 71, his ERA was below 2. 72, he's got a 3.13 ERA in 92 innings. Still good enough to be a closer, setup guy, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, he's got a 3-run lead in the 9th inning. And leading off, it'll be Jim Stewart. 57's a K. Mike Lum. 1-7 is the liner to first, and with 2 outs, it will be Jerry McNertney. 1-11 is a sky to center field. Pretty much paint by numbers game there today, folks. Coney Island scored early, held on. Avoid the gentleman's sweep. They get the win. Now they got to do it 2 more times. We'll do the box really quickly here, and then we'll come back at the end of this video with an elimination result. We'll give Ken Sanders a save with a strikeout. Fritz Peterson, 7 hits to 2 runs. They were earned. 3 walks, a strikeout. Jerry Johnson gave up 2 hits and a run. Sam McDowell lost. Gave up 6 hits, 4 runs. It was the Cleon Jones wrecking everything early, but only 3 walks for Sam McDowell, which is always a bugaboo of his. He walked a ton of guys, but not at that time. 10190, 108, 5827, 3235. Home team has won every game of the series. Don't really learn too much about the teams when that happens. You like to see road victories. They sort of vindicate that a team is put together pretty well and a good team, but in spring training baseball, it hardly matters. Frankly, the tournament winner hardly matters. We're just trying to get our eyeballs on some guys who are free agents, on waivers, on keeper lists, and so forth. Coney Island now with that victory is 8-6, hitting .249 with a 3.01 ERA. The tournament ERA is right around 3 as well. Memphis, can they improve on that? Memphis is 9-5, hitting .252 with a 2.33 ERA. Great pitching. Done by Clyde Wright, Jack Billingham, Sam McDowell, and Steve Dunning. So that's it. We'll come back at the end of the video with eliminating 20 cards from the team that loses. Stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. All right, folks, so which team lost that series? It was the Coney Island Cyclones. Losing in Game 4, Pat Dobson didn't have his best stuff, and he lost to Steve Dunning. Wasn't particularly good either. But Memphis brought their sticks. They win 3 out of the 4 games. Also, Memphis is the highest rated remaining seed, so they will host, they can host the whole darn rest of the tournament in their own park. So it's good news for Booker T and company. We got to take a look at the Coney Island Cyclones here and see what is the status of their players. We have 6 carry-on guys. Maddox gets top 10 MVP votes in 74, believe it or not. Tom McGraw always struggled with hitting the batting average, but he has a good year in 74. Even though this is a nice card, we already have a 74 card. We have Reggie's 73 MVP card. We have Munson's, I think it's his best card in 73. Jim Palmer, we have a 73 Cy Young card, and Fred Norman. So those 6 players already have cards in the Summer League. But the next 8, these are keepers. These are guys who had 71 cards. We have to decide which of the next 4 years we want to use. Cleon Jones has kind of a down year, but he rebounds in 73 and 4. So we're probably not going to take this one. As you can see, the batting average dips not particularly well. He's a 245 hitter, not much speed, and he's a 4 in the outfield too. Brooks Robinson's a 1-12 third baseman, and yeah, this is definitely 250, and believe me, for a bad Oriole team, that's not bad. I mean, he's the 5th best hitter at 250 on a struggling Baltimore franchise. Be hit and runner. This could be put in play. Boo Pal, 22 home runs. He delivers there, plus the walks. He's, good enough against lefties. Again, it's 2 years after an MVP. 319 at first isn't really good, but this is a possibility. For Ken Sanders, this is probably his last card, and it's good enough. Struggles over here, so you don't really want him to be a closer, but he's good enough to be a setup guy for Milwaukee. Dick Bosman played for the Washington Senators, Texas Rangers. He is on the Rangers here. I mean, the Rangers don't do a whole lot anyway, so he's a starter 6, and this is kind of a middling starter. Vulnerable against lefties. Just a guy. He's on the keeper list for the Rangers, but he might actually not even be selected, possibly, if somebody else is available in the draft. Here's a very underrated Pat Dobson, who was actually, in 72, all of Baltimore's pitchers were great. 2.65 ERA. Look at the 1-loss record. That's because they could not hit in Baltimore. Dobson might have been their second best pitcher, as I think Cuellar and Mr. McNally had kind of bad years behind Jim Palmer. So this is a very underrated card. Philadelphia acquired Dobson's rights from Baltimore in the trade for Grant Jackson a few years back. We got Tom Seaver, and 72 is certainly in play. Every year for Seaver is in play, really. 21-game winner, 2.92 ERA. What's not to like? Starter 8. We think the 73 card might be a little bit better. Don't like the extra base hits over here for a Seaver card. I mean, it's Tom Seaver. I mean, you want a beyond Hall of Fame worthy card. And by beyond Hall of Fame worthy, I mean like when these guys have ridiculous seasons, of which Seaver has at least once every 4 years, easily. And Fritz Peterson. He's 30 years old. Is he on Cleveland or is he on the Yankees here? He's on the Yankees, would be for Cleveland. 3.24 ERA, quality lefty starter, 7. So we like Fritz. Probably take this card. Now we move into 4 guys who are on waivers. And the first 3 are like identical. They're all the same guy. It's Fred Stanley, switch hitting middle infielder, Jerry Kenny, switch hitting middle infielder, and Horace Clarke, switch hitting middle infielder. Were they all Yankees? Fred Stanley would eventually be a Yankee. He's a Padre here. Kenny's a Yankee. Clark's a Yankee. They're just guys, but really they'll all get into the league, you'd think, for utility roles. Fred's got a lot of walks and on-base ability and versatility. Kenny, not quite as much. He used to play the outfield and have some speed. Doesn't quite have it. You don't really want him over there. Just singles here. That's decent on base. Nothing, a left-handed bat, decent on base, a couple positions. Horace Clarke's a guy who probably should get a job in the league. He's a full-time second baseman here. But, I mean, as a hitter, it's just very mediocre. B and B, though, and a 3 at second. Look, pretty much every expansion team will want this guy if the Yankees don't want this guy. That's the gamble you do when you put him on waivers. You say, hey, why don't you shop around? If you can't get a job, you can come back to New York. So that's the handshake agreement in that situation. The fourth waivered guy, and he might not get picked up, probably could have been pushed into retirement, is Mike Heedlin, who had some really nice years in Kansas City. But in 72, just kind of falls apart here. 478, 5-7 record. Doesn't really have an advantage in the platoon. May not get drafted, which leaves two undrafted free agents. Gene Heiser, a left-handed pinch hitter, does have singles and walks, so for pinch hitting, getting on base is nice, but we just don't have a luxury to donate a roster spot to a pinch hitter. Our rosters are 6 everyday players and 3 platoons. So Heiser would have to be a left-handed DH or corner outfielder, and that's just not a lot of punch. 196 hitter. Good National Leaguer. He was a Cub in this case. And Pat Corrales. Now, this is interesting. This is a catcher versus lefties. You look at the on-base here, and walks on 7 and 8, and that actually is significant there. You put it all together, he's probably got like a 340, 360 on base against lefties with a terrible batting average. 192 hitter, but 13 advantageous walks, 120 at-bats. He's got a 0 arm. It's a 0 arm catcher too. 0 is good. I mean, you'd like to have a -1 or 2 arm, but I'll take a 0 versus the pluses. So that's a look at the Coney Island Cyclones cards. You know, go get yourself some cotton candy. Warriors, come out and play. That In the City, that Joe Walsh song I played at the end of the video, the movie there, that was pretty good too. Go check it out if you can find it somewhere. Anyway, Coney Island Cyclones are done for 1972. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.